Right. All right. We are now live on Wade's Ventures YouTube channel. We already have an amazing amount of people in chat. Guys, I am super excited to kick this Monday off with a really cool guest of mine, a guest that you have seen in chat many times, but yet we need to discover why he loves reselling. So guys, let me say hello to some people in chat and then we'll get started. Guys, happy Monday. I've got some exciting news for you guys too. We've got some really good news. So let's go ahead and go through this. So we have our amazing admin in the house, guys. Mr. Pac-Man sold 14 packages on Sunday. He's crushing it. I wonder if he sold that vintage Nike piece. Tanya, what's going on? Stephanie, what's going on? Man, so friendly in here. We got Green Thrifty Life. What's going on? What's going on? Fate, what's going on? Sharp, what's going on? And of course, Reseller Mo's in the house. What's going on? So guys, those of you who are just joining chat right now and this channel, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are all about people that are not yet YouTube or Insta famous, but by golly, we're going to uncover some amazing people, and you probably will see them get pretty big over the next year or so. Because honestly, guys, I love interviewing people that are not under the spotlight yet to kind of see what kind of gems they have to bring to the table. And I'm super excited because we do have a really awesome reseller today. Gina, what's going on? What's going on, David? What's going on, Green, Mary? So guys, without further ado, let our amazing guests introduce themselves to all you guys. Go ahead, Mo.
Howdy, folks. Name's Mo. I have a Reseller Niche podcast and on YouTube and iTunes, and with my partner in crime, Russ, the Roaming Pickers. And basically, we do a show where we kind of interview people in the reselling game. And also, we're looking to kind of interview people that have local businesses so we can kind of find out what the other side is like. So like when we're walking into stores, how do they react to us? How do they associate with us? How can we associate with them better, and vice versa? So it's kind of like trying to see both sides of the table, and then hopefully learn something there, and then hopefully get some more sales out of that. So that's me in a nutshell.
So by the way, we have one statement and a few questions in here. By the way, Mr. Rusted Raccoon, when are you going to be coming on the show, buddy? So let me know. But Mo, by the way, I am super glad to have you in here because you have been a big supporter. I see you in chat constantly. I want to thank you personally. And that's the point. I would love to have all these cool people that are in my chat on there. Like Gina's been on here. Lisa's been on here. I need to get my admin on here. We've got so many cool people. So I've got a lot of questions for you. You know these questions. And throughout this, guys, we're going to put his YouTube channel link below. Let me know what number subscriber you are so I can shout you out. Because, guys, he's got a really cool podcast I've been a part of in chat myself. What's going on, Beth, my amazing neighbor? So, Mo, tell us a little bit back in about you, sir. Full-time, part-time, give us the skinny on eBay.
Gotcha. Part-time right now, hoping to be full-time by the end of summer. We're actually in the process of moving right now. I'm in the Bay Area in Fremont, hence my Facebook name, Mo Fremont. So we're moving up towards the Sacramento area, if anyone's familiar with that, in California. And so I'm actually, my main business, when I'm not doing reselling, is shipping. I've been in shipping for like 15, 20 years. So I will be closing that down and kind of moving into reselling full time. I've probably been on eBay. My goodness, my eBay account actually says 2001 on it. So I haven't really been reselling like this the whole time, but that's the first time I sold something. It used to be tickets back in the day. But yeah, the goal is to be full-time before kind of halfway through Q3.
That's going to be a great time to go full-time, right before the fourth quarter. And so, first of all, congrats on moving towards going full-time. Guys, if you're looking to go full-time reselling, let me know in chat. I'm extremely curious who's part-time looking to go full-time. So as you're going full time, I think it's really cool. I mean, it's tough going full time, right? Let's be honest here. But one thing that I did was I could have left my job a lot earlier than I did, but I kept going with the job so I can kind of like work towards going full time on eBay and make it easier on myself. Like I had a bunch of inventory unlisted. I wanted to make sure I had plenty of that to list going into full time. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do before I went full time. And what about you? Like, what kind of steps are you taking now that you're part time, knowing that you want to go full time? What are things that you're doing now to prepare yourself?
Well, in my head, I've been putting in full time hours probably for the last, I don't know, a year to 18 months or so. I mean, there's times where I drop because, you've got the safety net of having another job at the same time. But basically, I have relatively stocked eBay store, and I do merch. I do Amazon FBA. I'm starting Poshmark very, very slowly. I have about 25 items up. So before I go full time, my goal is to be completely consistent on 3 out of those 4 at least. So I've been with merch. The funny thing is I got into merch really, really early. I'm at the 1,000 level, but I don't have 1,000 level of that many shirts. I probably have about 300 or 400 shirts, and they're not really growing. So I would like to get that up and FBA back up and running full time again, and then my eBay. eBay is probably the biggest thing for me right now, actually.
That's awesome. Stephanie said part time, but love my job, would never leave. Do eBay in my free time because I love reselling. And guys, that's perfectly fine if you love your job, which a lot of you guys do, and you're not planning to leave. More power to you. Like, that's two incomes you're getting, a lot more freedom, financial freedom, pay down debt. That's really cool. And so give me a little background. So I know your account's kind of old on eBay, but what happened there? Like, how did you learn that you can sell on eBay? Because it was a lot more, I think back then it was like, I don't know. I know that eBay has obviously been around for a while, but some of the young bucks around here sometimes don't even know eBay exists. So how did you start on eBay?
Well, I actually knew people that worked at eBay back in, this is the late 90s, so I'm showing my age here. But basically, I would buy a lot of stuff from eBay. So my original account, it was just for buying things. I buy a lot of concert tickets, shirts, like everybody else. And then I was in IT. That's my original field before the shipping store. I was in IT for like 10 years. So you have a lot of downtime. So my friends and I like to go to like sporting events, concerts and things. And we figured, hey, why pay for it? Why not buy 10 tickets, sell 4, and then use the other 6 and we'll go. So that's what we used to do. We used to go to Warriors games, A's games, Giants games. We're in the Bay Area. And then basically we would sell the excess tickets. So that's what I didn't sell any hard goods per se, because I know back then picture taking is a little cumbersome. You have to wait in the mail. Sometimes I forget how they used to pay you. Even that was different. Money orders and this kind of thing. But it was pretty easy actually. Concert tickets. This is pre-StubHub. And I would literally wait in line sometimes down at the Oakland Coliseum, get Warriors tickets, get like 10 of them, 12 of them, whatever the max is, and then we'd just sell them. And then it was easy actually. I don't think we paid for a ticket back then. But then again, the Warriors weren't the Warriors that they are right now. They were basically probably the lower end. It's all about the Lakers back then. But it worked out though. I didn't have to pay for anything.
So you've got some hustling days back when with eBay. I think that's awesome. I love talking with experienced eBayers because it makes my job so much easier, and I learn from you guys. That's the reason I have a lot of cool interviews on my channel. Is I learn just as much as I give, or way more actually. So let me ask you a question. I'm curious. So we know you're part-time going into full-time. You work full-time hours, kind of like what I did when I had a full-time job. What state do you currently live in? What stuff do you kind of source? Are you hard goods, clothes? And give us a little idea of where you're sourcing currently.
Sure. I'm in in the Bay Area, Northern California. And then basically I've kind of gone through phases. When I came into this kind of area of reselling, probably 2013, 14 is when I got really back into it seriously again. I would do basically clothing. That was it. I started watching YouTube videos just like everyone in here did. Found some people talking about this and that. So I got into clothing. The other thing, other than clothing, one of the first things I did was toys, action figures, vintage toys, board games. I used to go to toy shows. They still even have those. And then I'd buy a lot of toys from these toy shows because there was a bit of a disconnect. I don't think there is anymore between like people that ran these toy shows and people that sold online. It was usually one or the other. And Facebook groups were not as big as well. So if you knew where to go, you could buy a lot of stuff, sell on eBay. So I used to do that a lot. And then off Craigslist too. Like, just to give you an example, vintage, I'm saying late 90s Star Wars stuff you could get for $0.25 in not even 5 years ago. Like
wow.
They couldn't give the stuff away. It was in these giant bins. It would say 50 cents and everybody walked by it. Nobody bought it. Within 2 years, that stuff was going for $20 a pop. So
wow.
That was one of the first. I remember that, and that stands out because it was one of the first things I used to sell.
What do you think about Toys R Us going down?
It's scary, and I think unfortunately it's just the beginning of a bigger. I mean, for us, for resellers, it's obviously one of the places we go to a lot. But unfortunately, I think we're going to see more stores like that go down. It's really sad, though. Really, really sad. I've been going to Toys R Us forever.
Yeah, it's almost like a part of your childhood's there. But I say that, but I haven't went there and I haven't bought stuff there recently. But it's weird, it's just a weird feeling. I was curious what you thought about that.
It's so sad that I remember because I grew up. I first 12 years of my life I grew up in England, so they heard there's no Toys R Us in England, at least there wasn't back then, but they had heard about it. And I remember I came here on vacation when I was like 8 to California, and then it had a little Toys R Us sticker on like a He-Man figure that I got. So people got really excited about that. Oh, you've been to Toys R Us, like it was a big deal. So it's kind of sad to see it going now.
Oh yeah, Deb, welcome in. Welcome to this live show. You're amazing. I've seen you in so many different chats. So welcome in. Finally caught a live show. Toys R Us was too high, not part of my childhood. It is actually, yeah, I would agree. It's too high. The prices were too high, compared to Amazon. I think when they first started out, and I could be wrong, but the prices weren't bad. But then,
yeah, I mean, I'm a lot older than some of the demographic in here. So if you go back, say, I don't know, 8-10 years, then it was a lot more reasonable.
Yeah, but then the course of like Amazon and just the influx of online and the obviously I think the market's gotten a lot more competitive since then. And you got to also understand too is like not just with toys but anything, like the machinery to make these have gotten easier. Like
yeah,
the machinery to make this stuff has gotten so much better, which then what happens, you get a lot more competitive in the market, the prices start to go down. And so that's one thing you consider. However, though, Toys R Us is really cool because it has everything you can imagine toy wise, right? Yeah. So it's kind of a different animal entirely. And I think you're right, Mo. I think that it's, there's definitely going to be more retail big box stores, going under, which is going to be, what do you think about that? Do you think that hurts the at home reseller or helps the at home reseller?
It's going to be like anything. I mean, I don't really know much about stocks, but in the recent, stock plunges, people in the market say it's I forget what they call it. Basically, it's evening out. I think that's what's going to happen with these big box stores. Some of them have to go. I was reading an article where they're talking about the amount of retail space the U.S. has compared to every other country, and it's like dwarfs it. So we are we've spent too much on business retail, unfortunately. Than way more than any, like I think Germany was next closest, or the UK, and it wasn't even close. So I think that I don't. To get to your question though, I don't think it's gonna hurt anyone that's paying attention though. As sad as that sounds, I think if you're a nimble reseller, you'll be able to take advantage of that. I know that sounds kind of bad, but I've seen, how many stores have we seen go down the last 3 years? and then you see these giant hauls from people going in there, you know, spending $500 and getting, you know, $2,000 worth of merchandise or whatever it is. So it's going to be the good with the bad. I guess it kind of just is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there's going to be opportunity online. People are starting to accept it now. I understand that people think that everybody shops online, but there's a massive portion of the world that doesn't.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Toys R Us was the place to find that particular must-have toy. I would agree, Big. I would agree on that. Guys, by the way, if you guys have any questions, put it in chat. And do you mind? I always take feedback, right? And I try to do it. Do you mind doing like a 10-second recap of who you are for those who joined late? We got 70 people watching, so
no problem. My name's Mo. I have the Reseller Niche podcast on YouTube and iTunes. And I'm just a reseller going from part-time to full-time, hopefully by the end of the summer. And glad to be on Wade's show. This is a great show.
So, Mo, what are you passionate about selling? If you can sell anything, right? What are you passionate about selling on
vintage? And I break that up into, recently I got into vintage clothing. Before I went through a phase where I started into clothing and I didn't like it at all. And I went hard on FBA. I was like 99% FBA. Then I came back about 18 months ago into eBay. So I'd say vintage, half clothing, half toys, games, anything. I like looking up labels, box, like weird companies you never heard of. You know, I don't know if you guys ever watched that Netflix show that just came out. Was it the toys we used to love or something like that? I forget it. They talked about like old G.I. Joes, old like He-Man figures, that kind of stuff. I like old, I'd say 80s, 90s vintage stuff.
So Deb said that she subbed 274, Cindy 276. Guys, sub to his YouTube channel. I'll shout you out. I would love to support the people that are on this channel. So Mo, what type of, and I try to get some nuggets out of you, right, for our audience. Yes. What type of website, do you have any websites or any tips or tricks in finding some of the stuff or finding out, you know, if it's a vintage item or non-vintage? Give us some tips or tricks here.
Okay. Well, with clothing, this might kind of sound weird, but the first thing I do when I walk in, I scan the aisle. And if it pops out to me, I just try and think of what it would look like if I was looking at it on a cell phone. If you look at people that have like, we were talking about this earlier, a bland background, when I look at that in a picture on an eBay listing, if it doesn't stand out to me on the aisle, it's probably not going to stand out as much. So my first scan in an aisle, and I'm talking about clothing here, is to see if it pops, like crazy colors, you know, like the cross colors, that kind of stuff, like super extravagant, wild clothing colors. Another thing I look for is, does it look weird? Do I know what it is? If I've never heard about it, it looks like I have no idea what it is, I gravitate towards that. I want to know what it is. Pick it up. Look up the company name. Does it have an old label? Does it have a website? I mean, a dead giveaway is, does it have a website listed on it? Like that could be at the back of a t-shirt label. That could be the back of a box. Generally, if it has a website listed, it's probably not that old. But if it doesn't, then you could have, like, if it's made in USA. So I don't really have any great nuggets, but usually if it looks older, take a look. That's kind of rule of thumb.
So we have a question actually, and I think we both can answer this. I'm going to let you go first. The question was, we're husband and wife team, by the way. Amazing. I love husband and wife teams. So we're husband and wife team, eBay, Posh, FBA, and working towards reselling full time. Wife is worried about me leaving my 9-to-5. I make roughly $14 an hour. Any advice for the transition? I'll let you take that, Mo, and then I'll go ahead and take it.
Okay. I was thinking about that when I was, thinking about going from part-time to full-time as well. What I would recommend is, if possible, if you could possibly keep kind of part-time income and do part-time reselling at the same time. It's always good to have two of whatever it is. If it's two marketplaces, a job and reselling, at least you've got something. So I would highly recommend keeping something and then moving into that. And then as your reselling business grows, you can see, how much your bills are compared to what you need.
So I have a few tips. one, and hopefully this helps goods. I know some of this stuff is really maybe transparent, but so the first thing I would do is I would add up all your bills. So what you need to live and put that down. Okay. Another thing I would do is, and this is all stuff you can do tonight. Another thing I would do is I would sign up for Poshmark. You're already on eBay. Sounds like you're already on Amazon. And I would sign up for one more site. Like, there's a few good ones, Macari. So I would, then the main goal is, guys, when you're going into fourth quarter, which is the end of the year, that's primarily when you're going to make a lot of your money reselling. So soon, you hear people talk about the dead point, summer slowdown. The one way you can combat that, a lot of people will, for summer slowdown, they'll stop buying. I think that's actually the opposite for me. I actually buy more during the summer and primarily coats, jackets, stuff for fourth quarter, and I'll start listing that early. And then also another way to combat summer slowdown is to buy non-clothing items, I found. So I'll dip into more hard goods during the summer slowdown, stuff that, necessarily isn't, clothing that's already saturated. Guys, so to answer your question, goods, you need to make sure you're on multiple platforms. You also need to make sure you find out how much your bills are. And then another thing too is if you're dead set on going full time and not doing a part-time gig, try to get at least 2-3 months. I mean, I recommend more, but try to get 2 or 3 months worth of bills, cash money in your account that you don't touch. That way, when you're doing full-time reselling, you don't have the stress of, you don't have the stress of paying bills while you're trying to get your 2 or 3 platforms up and running. And then the last part to that is I would make sure that you have on eBay a minimum of 1,000 items listed if they're not over a $30 or $40 profit margin. Obviously, you can have less items listed and have higher profit, but if you're going full time and you have a lot of your items and your average selling cost is $20 to $30, you need to have at least 1,000 items in your store. And to combat that, go to Goodwill bins. I think at that point, a good option is to buy stuff $2 to $3 per item and not spend a ton of money on any other stuff. So, all right. So hopefully that helps goods. I know it's basic. And if you need help, reach out to me. I'm a big fan of going full time, but you also got to understand it's tough. And especially if you've got a family, which it sounds like you do, you really don't want to stress out trying to feed your family and pay bills. All right. So this is all about Mo. By the way, Mo, you have one amazing head of hair. Anybody tell you that?
Thanks. That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. What kind of shampoo do you use in that hair?
Whatever my wife brings. I have no idea. I think Pantene was the last one.
Smart lady. Tell me a little bit about your family. We know about you as the reseller, but tell me kids and tell me their ages if you're comfortable with that, and tell me what does your wife think of you reselling?
So my wife is an entrepreneur herself, but she works a full-time income, and we're actually debating if she's going to come on with me full-time or if she's going to stay on because she's in biotech, and so when we move up north, she could probably go either direction. So most likely she will, at least at the beginning, stay on, and then she's going to gradually come in with me. She's a lot more organized than me. Just to give you a little backstory, she used to have her own online toy store. I want to say this is 2007. And she just got offered a really, really good job. So that's why she kind of walked away from that. So she was wholesaling, she was drop shipping, she was doing all her own. Like she doesn't have a super tech background, but she's the kind of person just learns everything. So I think we could be, I don't know. We're still debating if we're going to go in together or not. And for as kids, I have 2 kids, 5 and 8. So that's a fun age, but full of energy. So, I mean, I guess the move too is going to determine a lot of things for us. Whenever I guess you move into a new area, kind of feel out the area. I do a lot of thrifting. I'm moving more into wholesale. And if my wife did come on, one of the things she did say was she prefers private label. wholesale, things like that. So to answer your question, she likes reselling, but she prefers more of a kind of a structured, and not that thrifting isn't structured, but wholesale private label type of business.
It sounds like multiple quantity items.
Exactly.
And that's kind of me too. Like I love thrifting, so I'll never lose that piece of it. But I am definitely looking to get into wholesale and have like 30% of that be replenishables. And another thing too, I know that's putting another like nail, making it harder. But I also want to make sure it's stuff that people need, not want.
Yes.
So, for example, if let's say the market kind of crashes a little bit, somebody's going to need, car parts, so they're going to need shavers. Not necessarily need shavers, but I guess they would. The idea of something that somebody needs, not wants. Lori, should a person sell clothes on Poshmark before eBay? We are still just selling stuff around our house. By the way, that's a really good tip too. Like, guys, you'd be surprised what's around your house to sell, and you've already paid for it. Especially if you're going full time, maybe like scale down a little bit, sell stuff around your house, and then at that point, you can free up some capital to buy other items. But to answer your question, I think that if I can turn back the time, the clock, there's a few things that I would do. So day one, this is what I would do in this order. Well, not in this order. I would sign up on 3 platforms. Day one, I'd sign up on 3 platforms. Now you're probably telling yourself, why being a new reseller would you try or even attempt to sign up for 3 platforms? 1, because I don't want them to take Wade's Ventures as a name. But 2, I think that, eBay is not the only platform out there, and it's actually out of the few. It's actually hard to sell on eBay in regards to like learning the platform. So I would sign up for 3 platforms. I would list 2 items on each, and then I would continue to list items on all 3 platforms, because as going full time, if that's your goal, you need to have, especially during the, the slower months, you need to have more eyeballs on your items, right? And of course, there's other challenges with that. You got to make sure it's not being sold on one and the other. You got to be really careful of that. Possibly do like a Poshmark shelf and eBay, and that will get more eyeballs on your items. So that's what I didn't do. I started eBay, and then I trickled in Amazon after Reezy Resells got me to. And then I trickled in Poshmark after Chris 10K on the Bay got me on that. So I wish I would have started full time there. That's one thing that I wish I would have done. There's a host of other stuff that I did wrong. I purchased items I purchased equipment to sell my items, and I purchased like inferior stuff like light boxes with really weak lights, and I ended up having to buy 3 different lighting kits until I got the one I needed. So I think if I go back in time, I would have just bought the stuff I needed and then continue to resell. And I didn't ask for other resellers' help. I wish I would have done that. So instead of just buying the items, I wish I would have seen what other resellers that are doing it really well used, and then used and bought their items. Mo, what do you think? Like, if you can go back in time for you, what would you have changed? I know that it's a little different because you've been around eBay for a while, but what would you have changed? What would you have told yourself?
Well, that last one you just mentioned was a big one. I've been kind of a troll, shall we say, in forums and Facebook groups and on YouTube for years, and I never opened my mouth. I never reached out to anybody. In the last year, I've reached out to a lot of people. I've met a lot of people on YouTube and just reselling people in general. That's the number one tip I would say, is network with anyone and everyone. And you'd be surprised how many people can help, even if they're not resellers. I mean, that's how you find, to be honest. I haven't found many wholesalers in my life, but all of them I've found just by asking a question. Oh, do you happen to have this? Or do you know someone who can do this? To be honest, I kind of go back to my local area a lot, like Chris, 10K in the Bay. I'd never gone to a Goodwill bin before. And then I was in one of his mastermind groups, and then I asked him, he asked me, he said, so have you ever gone to the bins? I said, no. He's all right, we're going to go tomorrow at 10 a.m. That was it. So, I mean, and then I went garage selling with Yong from Merch Minds. I'd never gone anywhere with any other reseller before. I always thought that was people talking about going to garage sales together. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you divide it? It's so easy. And you learn so much, find out about different stores, tactics, how to talk to people. And these guys are so like open and talkative that you just sit back and listen and you can learn a lot. So I would say the number one thing is I never networked until the last 6 months to a year. That's easily the best thing you can do.
A couple things too to echo that. First, I think you're spot on. Like, and to go a little further, I would like, if you're just starting reselling, or you're not even just started reselling and you've been here for a while, I would Google search resellers in your state around your immediate area, and then like start to network with local people you can meet up in person. We've got a lot here in Oregon. We've got like, Portland Pickers, Side Hustle Pros, Nicole States here. Like when I first started, I wish I would have like gravitated towards those people a little bit more since they're local. And so that's one thing I would have done. And I had one question. Let's see, it was regarding my inventory. I think I lost that one. Anyways, if you can put that question back in there, I'll answer that, or have our amazing guest answer it. So how has social media changed your life, Mo? Like, how has it changed the way you do reselling today? And by the way,
tried to pull me out. Really tried to pull me out of my shell, I'd say.
Yeah.
This is not, talking on YouTube is not just a networking thing. For me, it's just kind of a talking out loud thing. So, it's kind of forced me to, voice my opinions. I can get critiqued by other people that are in the same genre, because it's kind of lonely, because even before this, I had a shipping store and it was basically just me and maybe talk to a few people on the phone. That's it. So being on social media now, with YouTube, Instagram, you can have a question answered in about 5 seconds by 100 people. When could you do that before? I would say it's probably the single biggest thing that has helped my reselling. It's just networking with social media.
Tell me now, I know obviously it's different. You've been around for a while, but don't you wish, at least I did, like one thing when I first started is I wish I would have started like day or week one on YouTube. Even if I didn't know anything, just being on YouTube and being out there and just like, hey, this is what I did today. Like it's kind of like having that boss, right? That you have to communicate with the boss and be like, hey, so I sold this, I did this, I did this. Well, YouTube is in the same sense, kind of the same thing, but you don't have another voice there. You just have like the ability to like, kind of say what you did that day to keep yourself accountable. And then that way you can go back and watch it. So for you, Mo, like, do you wish that you would have started YouTube sooner? Perhaps like when you were newer in reselling?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you a small story. I started a soccer podcast in like 2004, put out 10 episodes, but it's just me by myself. And then I thought, you know what, nobody's listening. So I stopped it. And it wasn't until like a year or two later, after I discontinued the hosting, that I started getting emails saying, what happened? You stopped. And so, yes, I should have gone from there and just gone on to YouTube or continued with the podcast. I didn't. So that's a regret. But yeah, the more you're out there, the more you're going to meet people, the more you're going to network, the better your business will be. It's just a domino effect.
Yep. Alicia, welcome in, by the way. I see you always commenting. Okay. There's the question. I asked if you cross post. I just started selling on Posh, but I plan on only posting them one item on the platform at a time. I think it would be stressful to keep track. So I do cross post, but I don't cross post everything. So like Nike cleats and stuff, obviously I'm not putting on Poshmark, although there's a lot of those on Poshmark. So I actually don't, I only cross post, and I'm trying to keep like Poshmark new with tag items. I know it sounds crazy, but since I'm such a new account, I don't want any issues. So I just been posting new with tag items, but of course I do cross post. But if you're new, because by the way, I've been selling on eBay for a little bit here. And for a while, I didn't know about the fact that if you cancel an item, you get a defect, and that gets you out of bad standing faster than anything, right? And so I got 3 of them off the bat. And so guys, don't cancel your orders on eBay unless you absolutely have to. But that being said, if you're new and you're trying out multiple platforms like I recommend, you probably should do it to where you keep separate inventory until you get the hang of it. So that way you don't, cancel an order because you already sold it on a different platform. So, I know that everybody wants to think that they can handle it, and you absolutely can. But to start out, I think I would do separate inventory, and I give you an idea to see what sells on Poshmark versus eBay. And you can always take the pictures in square mode, right? Use your phone, take pictures in square mode, and then each platform uses square mode. So if it doesn't sell on Poshmark, you can transfer it over to eBay. Right, Mo?
Yeah. And I used to do that with FBA. I completely separated everything. I didn't really do any merchant fulfilled. It was just FBA or eBay. So I would thrift, and I just separate the cart into two different sections.
Yep. How is your Amazon going, by the way?
It's slowed down a lot. I'm completely switched. I'm pulling out a lot of inventory. I had a lot of inventory up until about a year ago when they started having the restrictions, and I have been lucky. I haven't really been hit too many times by brand notifications, but I don't know if you've been looking at your inventory. That number has been dropping for me, at least. So I've had to pull a lot of inventory recently, and it's what I sell in FBA is mainly like home healthcare stuff, the boring stuff. I like to think of it as, and so a lot of that stuff, I don't know. The rankings, maybe I thought they were good buys when I got them a year ago, but if it sits for 365 days, that's not a good thing for your inventory at all. So it's slowly getting back up. I probably only have about 500 or 600 items listed now, but generally they're all multiple quantity items. So those are perfect.
Yeah. Thrifty Santa, by the way, he was 2 interviews back. The new superhero alter ego, the ramen thrifter. I don't know if you see my Instagram post, but I'm doing a video, and I realized, guys, if you guys on my Instagram post, I'm shopping in that ramen outfit because I got the pants thanks to Hip Flippin' Mama. And so I'm shopping in that ramen outfit, guys, and people were staring at me today. I walked by, Mom was filming, right? And she films from afar to get people's perception. And so one person she filmed, there was this 2 ladies, right? Today, and this happened today, a few hours ago. And one of the ladies hit the other lady that she was with. She's like, that guy has a ramen outfit on. And then the other lady is like, what? Ramen outfit? What are you talking? And then the other lady goes, yeah, he's wearing ramen. I mean, it was just like, it was incredible. And we got it all on film. There's people coming up to me, shaking my hand, saying that's amazing. And then I walked by this one guy. He was an older gentleman. And he was like, dear Lord, I can't remember what he said, but he said it under his breath, in disgust when I walked with that ramen outfit. So anyways, you guys will see all that. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, both mine and Mo's. But more importantly, you guys are gonna see some pretty funny stuff. I'm going to the bins tomorrow, guys, here in Hillsboro, and I'm gonna wear that ramen outfit, and we're gonna film it too. So hopefully we don't get kicked out though. But all right, so Mo, tell me a little bit about your friends and what I mean by friends is like, is there anybody outside your immediate family that you've tried to teach how to sell on eBay?
Yes. I made that. I mean, sometimes it works out, but in my case, you get the eye rolls. I've been successful one time, I'd say. One time, and it was actually mainly because my friend was ironically into sporting cards and video games, those two. So he already had more knowledge than I did in that. He just didn't really do eBay or anything like that. He had an account, he didn't really use it. So for a while he was doing that. But other than that, generally they ask if I need a job when I talk about eBay. Like, hey, I know somebody who's hiring, or, are you okay? Are you thinking about getting a master's degree, or like, okay. Kind of like you sell crack or something. So that's my, I don't know about you, but most of the people I'd say I talk to either kind of look at me with amazement, like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Tell me about, I'm curious. And by the way, I echo that 100%. Deb says, how close are you to getting an ambassador, guys? I'm pretty close. I'm like 86%. I just need to share my own closet. I think it was Tracy said I shared almost 16,000 items of other people's Poshmark. Guys, those of you who are joining this channel, those of you who are watching and are not in chat saying anything, I welcome three things in my YouTube channel. One, I welcome you to put your eBay name if you want. You can put your Poshmark name if you want to get people to follow you, and you can put your YouTube name if you want. In fact, I am 100% open channel. So if you guys want to cross promote your own information, you're more than welcome to. And I want everybody to start and document their journey, just like Mo on his YouTube channel, and just like how he does his podcasts, and just like how he loves reselling. He's going full time. You guys should definitely do that too. And if you're not, think about it. Mo, what's 2018? What do you see yourself doing for your business, both reselling and your YouTube channel?
Okay, YouTube channel. We're going to reach out to more local businesses, and I recommend everyone do that, even if you're not doing it to record it. Reach out to local businesses. A lot of them are hurting right now, even if they're not so small, bigger, medium-sized businesses, and see if you can make a connection. I don't know how many times, because we ran a shipping store and just people waiting for, for something, and you strike up a conversation and you find, that's how I found a wholesaler, actually, a guy who gives me vintage shirts all the time. So that would be number one. I need to visit more businesses, old school, walk in, shake them by the hand, and, see if we can, find, even if you just make a friend, that's good enough. And then as far as like reselling goes, I really need to knock down. It was fine when I had income and reselling, but if I'm doing reselling, then I have to do, in my mind, if I go for 3 times what I'm doing right now, that would be good. I need to actually lock down a private label product, lock down more wholesale accounts for FBA, and double my eBay store, basically. So just to, have that peace of mind.
How many items do you currently have listed on eBay?
About 1,000 on eBay, about 500 to 600 in FBA, and a merch. I think I have about 300 to 400 T-shirts listed.
So FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, guys. That's where you basically box up all the items. Primarily, I do mostly new with barcodes, and then you send it to Amazon. Have you heard about possibly eBay doing the same concept?
I have. I don't know how anybody could afford to get into that unless they partner up with, because I did, being in the shipping business, I found a lot of people that have giant warehouses. So there's actually people before FBA that did that kind of business, but not in that scale. They would do it for like one company. So I don't know how eBay would do that, to be honest. I think it's more of a rumor than anything. Or maybe it'll be like I don't see it happening. It'd be nice, but I don't see it happening.
So Swamp, welcome in, buddy. You need to come on the channel just so you peeping in here. Guys, I have a little tip, and I want to give this tip out with him here. So in the chat, guys, if you're doing merch by Amazon, basically where you upload designs, and then when people search and they purchase those shirts, they'll print it, ship the shirt out, and you'll get a commission on it. Really cool, actually. I've got an idea. So a lot of people are saying, well, I'm not really good at designs, or I've got actually 2 ideas, or possibly they're good but they're not great, or whatever the case may be, right? So one thing is if you live by a college town, I thought about doing this where you pay college students to create designs for you for merch by Amazon that possibly are art classes that they can use for their portfolio, or whatever the case may be. Get college students to create those designs for you. Another option too that is already on the table, the designs are already created, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if this may not be a good idea, but I haven't tried it yet, is contacting businesses and then getting their logos, putting them on Amazon, and then that way when their employees need shirts, they can go and purchase these shirts with their logo on it. It's a lot cheaper for them than going to a local store, or a local printing shop and printing their own t-shirts. Plus, the problem with businesses printing their own t-shirts is not necessarily that it costs a lot, which that's a big portion, but the fact that they had to sit on a bunch of inventory typically. Whereas if you got there, if you're like, hey, I'm partnered with Amazon, I can take your logo, put it on Amazon, and then you can purchase shirts through Amazon, then they don't have to sit on a bunch of inventory. When they need that shirt, they can go and buy it. What do you think, Mo?
I think I've actually done that before, but I mean, I have cheated. My aunt runs some daycares in the city. She has, and then I asked her, I said, do you have a logo? She said, yes. I said, can I have it and print out some shirts? Doesn't cost you anything. I'll give you the link. And then I probably sold like 6 shirts, but still it does work. The only thing I would say is if it's a bigger company that has like a trademark, you don't want to go. You probably want to ask first before you do that.
Oh, of course.
But if it's like more of a mom and pop type thing, you'll probably be okay. But someone that's more heavy in the merch will probably be able to answer that. But to answer your question, that does work though, and that would be great if you are comfortable walking around, meeting new businesses.
I would love to get like big businesses, for example, like, when I say big, like 1,000, 2,000 employee businesses, getting their approval, of course, to use their logo, upload it to merch, and then provide them with the link so they can purchase it.
I think it would work.
Yep. So, and if you guys have any questions, let me know. We've got another 15 minutes, guys. We have, Wade, do you have a Facebook page? I do, but I actually haven't done anything with it. I haven't done anything with it, to be honest. I'm not big on Facebook, guys. I haven't even tried. So I'm on, I'm in Casey's group. I've actually never even logged on the group, but I'm in his group. And if I ever needed help, I can easily go there. There's a lot of cool groups out there, guys. Mo, do you have any Facebook? First of all, let me ask this question. Do you have any Facebook groups, or do you have any groups that you think that would be benefit for people? And then, I have one other question about social media after that, but do you have any good groups that you recommend?
I mean, more than others, there's a lot of good groups out there. I'm in probably every single reselling group. So I'm in Casey's group, for example. I am in that group. I'm in Chris's group, Reseller Fam. I'm in, who else? Jason T. Smith's group. I'm in Chad, Golden Finger Pickers group. So I'm in every single group there is. So I'm kind of the opposite end, but kind of like you, I've kind of really dropped off. Like, we have our own Facebook group for the YouTube channel. It's not very active because I'm not very active in it. So it's basically a depository for videos. But I've just found that Instagram personally has been so much faster. And we're kind of, in the mindset that I need to answer now. Facebook's great, especially if you're in those, 20,000 people groups. But I don't know. Just go type in reselling, type in eBay, and there's at least 6 groups that have more than 20,000 people.
That's a good tip, actually. Like, just go to Facebook, type in eBay reselling, and then a bunch of groups will pop up, and try your hand at a few of them. See kind of what you like. We have Wade. I am starting up Amazon. That's another thing I did not do. Here's the thing, right? I've explained this, Mo. You probably heard this and you probably know, but so let's say you're out thrifting, right? Let's say you're at Goodwill or Salvation Army and you are thrifting for clothes, but then you happen to walk by and you see all these perfectly new in package items that are scannable, right?
Yeah.
If you're not on Amazon, you're not going to buy those, right? So
Nope.
And here's the problem. So if you're not on Amazon and you're just on eBay, well, your mind is set on eBay. But what if you can have your mind set on 2 platforms? The best part about that is you don't have to double commute. So the places that you go, if you see something for Amazon, you can pick it up at the same time you're searching for eBay items. So I think that when I first started, I wish I would have just started on Amazon, started on eBay, because it's really easy. You literally sign up for the Amazon seller, you get the app, and then you can start scanning same day, right?
And
like
this is the best time to sign up for Amazon right now. I would say this time of the year, because this is where Wade was saying, this is when I do most of my buying. I kind of slow down in January, and then in February through the end of summer, that's where you spend most of your money because everything's cheaper. You can get it in bulk. A lot of these stores like Walmart's, Targets are getting rid of a lot of stuff to get rid of, to get in other seasons items. That's where, especially if you want to learn, because typically October, Amazon starts tweaking right before I don't know if it's mid Q3, they do a little tweak every October, September, and that's where everybody freaks out. So if you can get in now, have an established account for like 5 months, then when they do that, and they always tweak it, so don't worry about that. You'll be more, settled. You'll be able to handle that.
So Lindsay Holland's in chat, guys. And in the chat down below, she does her haul videos. Let me know if you're subscribed to her YouTube channel. I've been trying to get her on to this channel, so hopefully she comes on. I love Casey's VIP group. All good people, no drama. I think that's amazing. Casey does have a massive group, and that's a big plus because you're going to get a lot of the idea. Isn't it amazing now? Like, can you imagine, Mo, back in the day where things weren't so accessible with your phone? Like back then you had to be knowledgeable over the years of just doing it. But now you can literally pick up your phone, type in the name of something through like sites like WorthPoint and Vintage Guild and stuff like that. And find out like what these items are. Isn't it amazing? The
Even
times that we live in.
Just eBay itself, going to the eBay app itself, just looking through the solds is easy. Takes about 3 seconds. I mean, I don't know of an easier time to do research than now. I mean, definitely.
And what's I know, but what's your Instagram handle, by the way?
Well, reseller niche was taken, so it's flipped. It's niche reseller.
Okay.
So it's niche reseller altogether. If anybody out there has reseller niche, I'd be happy to take it off your hands. So
send them a message. Send them a message.
Yeah,
what do you have? Oh, it was I love this community. The other day, you guys all know Craigslist Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Craigslist Hunter. And I was in his chat, and there was some person giving him some problems in chat, and he made me an moderator, like an admin, basically. And it's just really cool to be a part of somebody in the community, learn and grow with so many cool people. And the reason I'm saying this now is, Mo, what give us some people that you like watching. And the reason I want this is we have almost 80 people watching right now. And a lot of these people in chat may not know some of these people that are on YouTube that they can watch. So give us a few people, 4 or 5 or however many you want that you love watching.
Okay, I'm going to try and give people that aren't so well known. Okay, I watch a lot of stuff in the UK. So Nick Hills, you probably heard of, but his partner in crime, Zahir Malik, he's really, really cool. They do a lot of eBay and they do FBA too, I think. They're like in the north of England somewhere. Who else would there be? I should know this because I watch so many videos. I mean, a lot of the guys you probably heard of, like Chris 10K in the Bay. I like Jason T. Smith. He's very entertaining. I like your videos, actually, because you bring people on that I've never seen before. So that's probably the coolest thing that I've seen. Who's one last one? Oh, there's a new guy I started watching. His last name starts with a W. I think it's Knobloch or Wob. Blanking on his name. He's in like Ohio or Chicago.
You might have him on your phone.
Yeah. Let me see here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So it is W Knobloch. What is this? That's his handle on Instagram. And he's on YouTube too. What is it? I can't remember. Can't remember his first name. But his Instagram handle is WBKNOBLOCK. And he's got a pretty decent like YouTube channel and like Instagram. So he does a lot of like in person, like haul videos, and similar to Reseller Rabbit. I love watching the.
Yeah. I love the Reseller. Can you guys hear me? By the way, I was muted 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. All right. So, yes, the Reseller Rabbit. I'm addicted, and I'm only addicted to him because I love doing storage auctions too. And,
I really need to do one. Walter. Somebody just said it's Walter Knobloch. I saw that in the Cindy said that.
Guys, in chat, if you guys have maybe resellers that are not as well known, put them in chat. I'm curious to see what you guys have. I want to invite some really cool people on this channel. I just need to know, who's out there. So if you guys have any, I'll go back and watch this, or put it in the comments if you're watching this after the video's done. So, all right. So Mo, this is one of the few last questions. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm going to put his YouTube channel in chat, guys. I'll also put in the description if you're watching this after the fact. But Mo, what kind of, and I know I've kind of asked a variation of this question already, but what kind of question, or what kind of tips, tricks, hacks, like recommendations, like what can you give the folks that are watching now that may help them in their day-to-day?
I kind of go back to the same thing. You don't know what you have in your people kind of look at YouTube videos and they see someone that's a long way away, and people kind of tend to overlook what's in their local area, local mall, their city, their county. Because there's stuff, for example, like at Goodwill's that I've seen. Like I was talking to Russ, my partner on the podcast, and he was talking about all this camo stuff he just got, like piles and piles of camo stuff. And in Northern California, you don't really find it. And if you do, it's like high-end stuff that's actually in the sporting goods stores. You wouldn't really find it at a Goodwill. So don't discount your local area, because back in the day we used to do a lot of like Trader Joe's FBA flips, because a lot of states don't have Trader Joe's. So that would be my number one thing. And the number two thing is kind of going back to, I'm not always the best reaching out to people, but reaching out to people in the last 18 months or a year has easily been the best thing. And then if you can actually meet a person, that would be the next step. Go out and resell with them. Go out, just have lunch with someone. Buy somebody lunch. And then a third tip, and this is if you have like an office or any kind of address, or if you don't mind people coming to your home. I didn't always have the time to have people come out for getting wholesale items. So I'd list items on Craigslist. I'd list my office address, and I'd get two things from that. One, I signed up to be a resale center, like a recycle center. So I'd get free boxes, free peanuts, free bubble wrap from the city. Number two, check that out if you're allowed to do that. I'm pretty sure a lot of cities will actually ask you to become a recycle center if you have an office address. And then as long as you recycle whatever is being given to you. And then number two is if you have a separate address where people can meet you to give you things like Craigslist items or anything, offer up type stuff, that really helps, because I've noticed that people reuse that address. Like I'll get calls, I'll get texts, and people come back and they'll say, you know what, I've got this, I've got some more toys, I've got some more DVDs. Do you want to see them? So that would be it. Reaching out to people would be in any way, shape, or form, whatever you're comfortable with, would be the best thing.
I echo that. We have a few comments. So someone needs to do a video on how to be a YouTuber. Look at my old videos. They're horrible. So the main thing with being doing a YouTube video is just putting one out there. I think that's the biggest thing. I kept on saying, I'm going to put a video out and then a week would pass. I'm going to put another video out and a week would pass. Just put it out there no matter how good or bad. And then if you have any questions about YouTube or starting one up, please let me know. As you guys know, I'm a big proponent of that. And then we have Wolf said, I want to know the winning lotto numbers. Mo, do you happen to have that?
Yeah, hold on a second. I wish I did.
We have Liquidation Ohio. Is that right? My amazing moderator. What is that? That's a YouTube channel. Has that I'll have to check out. I've never seen that YouTube channel. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any else here. Swamp Picker has a YouTube channel, guys.
You can check out my buddy, the Roaming Pickers. He's going to be putting out more content soon. The Roaming Pickers. He's on Instagram and YouTube.
I see him in here in chat.
Yes, Russ. He's a good guy.
Russ, Roaming Pickers. We're gonna have to have him on the channel.
Yep. He's got tons of information.
And that's the thing is this. I love. Sometimes I get bored, guys, and I'll go into YouTube and I'll type in eBay reseller, and then I'll filter by this week's videos, and I'll find so many cool new people. And And so you can go on YouTube, type in eBay reseller or eBay haul video or whatever keyword you want to use, and then filter by week, month. Sometimes I'll do month, and then I'll scroll through and find these really cool people that are out there just trying to make it. And
and one thing I do is I filter by my city or my county. So then if you're looking to possibly meet somebody to resell with or whatever, you can, that might help.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Give me 1 second, guys. So let's see. You're thinking about starting a YouTube channel. Definitely get her done. Start a YouTube channel up. I need to get Swamp on the channel as well. Let's see. So it is called the Roaming Pickers. That's what I'll search. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's in the chat there, I think.
Cool. And then we got Resell Remedy. Yes. I think that's an amazing one too. Any Alabama resellers in chat, please let Lindsay know. Guys, put what state you're selling in too, by the way. One thing, Mo, about you is you're in a very expensive state. How are you going to work that full time? That's going to be take some good amount of money.
Well, actually, that's part of the reason we're moving north. It's a little bit cheaper out of the Bay Area than within the Bay Area. So hopefully that's going to help.
I can imagine. We got Swamp is from Louisiana. Is that correct? California. Rita's from California. Mississippi is Deb. Cindy. And then we got Lori from Nebraska. Let's see. You guys are, man, there are so many amazing places.
I heard North Carolina is great for thrifting. I see a lot of North Carolina in there.
Yeah. Oh, Gina. Yeah. I bet you get some old antique stuff in North Carolina, right, Gina? Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, Sacramento. Anybody from Oregon? Nashville. Thrifty Santa. Mo, what do you think about that name? I
think that's one of the best names I've seen on YouTube, Thrifty, because it's catchy. I'm not going to forget that one.
Yep. So what was it? Swamp said Cincinnati Picker, guys. Are you guys subscribed to Cincinnati Picker? He's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've watched his shows before.
And then North Carolina, Georgia. Mo, what do you real quick? I know this is getting off topic, but what kind of stuff do you do with your family, like outside of reselling?
Well, we like to kind of go to, as funny as it sounds, go to amusement parks a lot. Obviously, because my daughter loves Disneyland. We've been there, I don't know how many, 6 times between the two of them. Legoland, Disneyland. So a lot of trips, as many trips. We stay within the state so we can drive. Tahoe. We haven't really gone too far. We've taken plane trips, but all within the state. So we like to travel as much as possible. It just alleviates the tension from working. I mean, if you can turn off your phone too, which I have a really hard time doing. But if you can do that, that's the best thing in the world.
Tracy, Fort Wayne. That's amazing. So I was thinking about the same thing because, guys, I feel incredibly bad, Mo. Like, I've been slacking on my comments on YouTube and on Instagram. And I do not want people to think I'm ignoring them. And so I need to be. I found that when I went full time, like I need to structure my day a lot better than I am now. And structuring my day is just, I'm getting a little bit better at it, but I need to structure my day a lot better. Sharing my closet too right now. Are you guys listing right now? Let me know in chat. Lindsay, are you listing? You're on Poshmark and eBay, I believe, right? We'll see if we can get Lindsay on here. I always get on her YouTube channel just so I can watch the women's clothing. Mo, do you sell any women's clothing?
I have, because I've gone to the bins a few times. Generally not, only because my knowledge base isn't there. If my wife comes on board, then maybe. There are a couple things I like to sell if I can find them. Camo and women's camo. I don't know why. That I can't keep it in stock. If it's a hat, a shirt, or whatever, that stuff is awesome. But not really, no.
Thrifty Santa, i.e. Barry, who was on my channel, said, I'm buying my eBay ticket tonight, still needing a roommate to split a room in Vegas. Guys, if you're looking to go to eBay Open and you want to alleviate some of the cost, Barry is an amazing individual. You can actually go back to 3 of my interviews ago and watch him. He's looking for a roommate to split some cost to eBay Open. What about, do you think you would possibly go to eBay Open once you go full time next year?
I really, really want to, but unfortunately, I think it's the new school district my kids are going to go into. It's a year-round school district. So from what I'm seeing, they actually have school in July, which is really weird. They've never had that before. So I mean, we don't technically move for like another month, so I'll find out in a month if hopefully there's tickets left by then.
Lindsay said, I'm going to eBay Open with my mom. I think that's amazing.
That's very cool.
You know how, Mo, do you remember back in the day it wasn't cool doing stuff with your mom and dad? Now I think it is. Like
I'm the biggest mama's boy there is. I mean, yeah, because my mom basically raised me, so that's actually part of the reason we're not moving too far. And she's got twice as much energy as I do. That's another thing. When I started on eBay, she doesn't have an email account. That's how, on techie she is. But still, she found me inventory. She'll always pull out stuff. Oh, can you sell this? I found this. Can you sell this? I mean, it might not always work, but I like the effort.
Isn't that amazing to be like just a part of your life?
Yes.
We have, I just want to go to eBay Open just to shake Wade's hand and go home. Wow. That means a lot to me. That means a lot. That's an awesome statement. Guys, if you're going to eBay Open, let me know too. I was actually yesterday I was at a Goodwill, and I went to a Goodwill in Woodburn, Oregon, and Tony came up to me, so I went to Goodwill, bought my stuff, put the stuff in the truck, taken the cart to the little cart area, and then Tony was sitting right there parked, and I never met him before, and he has me as a follow on Instagram, and it was just really cool that's the cool thing is like I don't know a lot of people, but then they come up to me and we spark a conversation. I learned so much, and I think it's just really cool. That's what social media has done for me, and not only that, it's kept me accountable. It's just overall such an awesome experience, and that's why we do these Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, is to help support people like Mo, get his channel up and running, get more people to know him, because I'm sure a lot of people are already subscribed from what I'm seeing to Mo, but a lot of you weren't. And he's such a wealth of knowledge. He's got an amazing head of hair, a great family. Heather, by the way, I missed your comment about happy birthday. Appreciate that. Went to the coast and crushed it. Limited out. Nice. Not on crab, but on fish. It was awesome. Roaming Pickers, thanks for the sweet comment from Deb. Rita's in the house, by the way. ABC of reselling. I'm going to eBay Open. Woodburn, one of the best bins. And yes, that's awesome. If you wear your ramen suit to play blackjack, I'll come dress as Santa. What do you think about that, Mo?
I say do it. I mean, that's a challenge right there.
Yeah.
He just dared you.
He did. Although I don't know. I just had to put on some clothes. He actually has to like dye his beard and dress up as Santa.
Oh, so, wow.
Can you imagine playing blackjack with with ramen and Santa?
I mean, you can make a YouTube video out of that just a couple pictures.
Oh yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Lindsay said, give this video a thumbs up, guys. We need more people to find this amazing man. We need more people to find his YouTube channel. If you give it a thumbs up, that means I don't get paid a penny more. It just gets out to YouTube land. More people find this video. More people subscribe to him. If you're watching this after it's live, because we have 80 people watching right now, it'll be in the description and the comments. You can subscribe to his channel. I highly recommend it. Mo, what's in for 2018? Like, what's your game plan for YouTube?
To reach as many people as possible. And what I mean by that is local people. I want to talk to them. I want to meet them, interview them, find out what's good, what's bad, what reselling is to them. Because like I said, a lot of people that are actually selling to us that we're buying from, I want to see what their motivations are. Because if we can understand who we're buying from, maybe that helps us become better resellers. Not only that, part of the reason I had Russ is on the complete other side of the country. If I can reach out to more people that aren't in my local area as well, because I actually through social media, that's how I found Russ, and through the mastermind group. if I can just reach out to as many people as possible, then you know, it's only better for everybody. I can learn more, and then they can learn more, hopefully, and then we can all make a little extra change, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So if you have any more questions, put them in chat, but I think we're going to wrap it up. I want to say, first and foremost, thank you so much for coming on, Mo.
Thank you.
Like I said, I always see you in chat, always supportive. It's funny. I go through this chat right now, right? And I've got Thrifty Santa, who was on my channel. I got Gina, who was on my channel. I've got who else I got? I've got Hip Flip and Mama was in here, was on the channel. Who else did we have on the channel that was in here? So many people that are in this chat that support me have been on this channel, has been interviewed. We got Moonlight Moolah. We did a video together. Now we have you. So if you guys would like to go on this YouTube channel, if you guys would like to be interviewed, if you guys would like to be under the spotlight and show yourself to the reselling community, and you know, we can learn some nuggets from you, please email me, wade@wadesventure.com. And I have a spot open Wednesday. Tomorrow we have an amazing reseller, same time tomorrow. She is really cool. So those of you guys who want to be on my YouTube channel, Mo, how did it work? You sent me a message, and how fast were you on here, by the way?
Wow, that was super fast. Within a few days, we were on here. And to be honest, it could have been faster than that. But it was really, really fast. Wade actually gets back to you nearly immediately. It was within probably 2 hours. So it couldn't be much faster. I use Instagram only because I like it better, but I'm sure other people use email or whatever you use. So Wade's extremely responsive. So reach out to him.
Appreciate that. And by the way, update on Farm Girl Scavenger. She had her first, those of you who don't know, Farm Girl Scavenger was my first interview of all time. She set the foundation for everybody that has come after her. If I didn't have such a successful interview with her, I don't know if I would have continued these interviews. She made it so super easy for me. She was literally the first person I ever had on my channel. And she got in this bad accident. She got burns all up and down. It is pretty bad, guys. It was thick burns, right? So that being said, it was 2 videos back. If you want to go to that video, and if you want to be, if you want to donate to her GoFundMe, you can. If you just want to send her a message with love, you can. It's 2 videos back, guys. But she had her first surgery today. It's where they take skin from another part of her body and put it where the burn part is, and the burn part was all up and down her left body. So, anyways, I hope Farm Girl gets better. I want to visit her in the hospital, and if you guys want to support her GoFundMe, you can. Mo, thank you so much for joining. Guys, if you're watching this, subscribe to Mo's channel. Please let me know in the comments if you're not subscribed already, what number you are. And buddy, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you giving us nuggets. And any parting words of inspiration?
You know what? Reach out to somebody. Take somebody to lunch. How about this? Next week, take a stranger to lunch that's works somewhere that's in reselling. Maybe it's not even reselling. And parting words, I'd like to thank Wade. This is a great. You're probably the only person that's doing this for complete strangers, and for we're not really strangers, but on your show we're kind of all family. So I really, really appreciate that, man.
Anytime, guys. Anytime. We're gonna head off. Thank you so much. I will see you this time tomorrow. And you guys crush it. We only live once.
See you guys.
All right, guys. See ya.